listening to the relentless Russia-phobia in this place, why are people surprised that Russia sees no point in engaging with the EU? I'm as happy as anybody else to stand up for anybody's rights, including Navalny's. But let's be honest about him. He's a vicious, anti-immigrant racist on maybe 4% of the support, in rallying hundreds and thousands in cities of millions, hardly a mass movement. And we wouldn't be discussing him at all if he'd been arrested anywhere else other than in Russia. Meanwhile, Julian Assange has been incarcerated for almost 10 years for exposing US war crimes. We can't mention his name. Tomorrow, Pablo Hasél, a Catalan rapper, is going to prison for his lyrics. Where's the call to sanction Spain? Tomorrow, 62-year-old Clare Daly is going to prison in West Virginia for her role in the non-violent ploughshare action against Trident. Where's the demand to break off links with the US? Or the outcry about the hundreds of people arrested in this city on a protest a week ago? Nowhere, because this isn't about human rights. This is a geopolitical agenda against Russia, fueled by a military-industrial complex who need an enemy to justify their millions. Of course you're right to go to Russia. We should be engaged in dialogue, not war.
Clare Daly Mick Wallace, welcome to Renegade Inc.
Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Claire, hard-hitting stuff. What you're getting at there is the abject hypocrisy at the heart of what's so-called defence spending.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible for us. I mean, there has been a seismic change in the European institutions now. For the first time in this budget going forward, we have direct public money being spent on defence. And obviously with more and more billions being pumped into this, they need an enemy to justify it. And clearly Russia has been made into that characteristic for that purpose. It's mad stuff, really.
Pretty dangerous game, isn't it, Mick? Once you start poking the Russian bear, it's not like having a little military skirmish somewhere in the Middle East. So these superpowers, things can go badly wrong, can't they?
I would argue that while the sanctions do have some form of impact on the Russian economy, I would think that the Russians are not actually lying awake at night worrying about the EU at the moment. And their statement that, you know what, I think we'll just deal with the member states rather than the EU institution as a unit. And of course, when they say that, what they mean is they mean Germany and France. And people need to remember that the European Union is run by Germany for Germany, and France would be the sidekick. So if Russia continues with a reasonably decent relationship with Germany and France, they won't be overly worried about a lot of the mindless anti-Russian rhetoric that's expressed, especially in the parliament. You can see that the Germans were not backing down on Nord Stream 2. Business is business, and they want it to happen. And despite an awful lot of pressure from the Americans, a lot of pressure from the East Europeans, a lot of pressure from so-called human rights defenders, they were going ahead with the project, hail, rain or snow. And you've seen something similar with the investment deal they did with China just before Biden came into office. The Biden administration contacted the European Union and said, listen, please lads, hold off. Let's talk about this when Joe gets into office. But you know what? Germany's biggest trade partner is China. Germany is waiting for nobody. And the deal went ahead.